Are Jesus Christ and the devil the same energy? Notice here, I am not asking if Jesus Christ and the devil are the same person. I am only asking if they are the same energy. The concept that I'm bringing forward for you today is not only helpful to help us integrate our own light and shadow within ourselves beyond duality, but it is also a good understanding to have to help us understand the type of beings we might attract as we start opening our crown chakra for telepathic communication with other multidimensional beings. So, without further ado, please make yourself comfortable. My name is Izzy and welcome to the download. If you grew up or have been in a Christian, religious related group before, I'm pretty sure you are well familiar with the concepts of heaven and hell, as well as Jesus Christ or the Antichrist and the devil. In all cases, these places are entirely separate from one another, or a being will be entirely pure or entirely dark. Truth is, there's no such thing that exists like that in science. If you think of water, for example, you can have boiling hot water, you can have freezing water. But in all cases, there are varying degrees and they are only two sides of the same coin. Consciousness is no different. Therefore, Christ's consciousness and the devil or the Antichrist are therefore also only two sides of the same coin. To better understand Jesus Christ or Christ consciousness, there is another video that I made, the Fifth Dimension Explained, that you may want to check out. But just to talk about it briefly here, is Christ consciousness is essentially the understanding that there is only one universal mind and we only have awareness of an aspect of it as ourselves. So therefore, Christ consciousness is understanding that you are me and I am you. Therefore, by hurting you, I am only hurting myself. So when this illusion of separation is completely transcended and you feel one with everything, it brings energy of peace, love, and serenity. On the other side, the Antichrist concept here in this video is that as soon as we separate ourselves from the whole creation and start acting out or believing we're only solely an individual, that is actually the Antichrist energy. The further down we go into the darkness and the shadows of individuality, the more painful the lessons are, the more suffering we are actually encountering. So as we work on our own shadow and bring them into the light and start to coming back slowly through the spectrum of oneness, the easier life gets, the more frequencies and joy and happiness we can experience. And then ultimately, if we're capable in this life of transcending all of our shadows, we become fully illuminated into Christ consciousness. The reason I'm bringing this concept forward is first, not only for your own enlightenment, to help you start looking and understanding, especially more importantly, understanding that there is no such thing as the Antichrist in the world. Sometimes you want to look at public or like celebrities or heavy like big public figures and be like, oh yeah, that person is the Antichrist. No, the truth is there is an Antichrist energy that is in all of us, and there is a Christ consciousness energy that is in all of us. It's up to us at every single second of every single minute of every hour of every day to choose from which side of the spectrum we want to operate in the world. Now, of course, some people have more aspects in perhaps the Antichrist energies, and there are other people who have more aspects of themselves in the Christ consciousness energies. And essentially, we learn to navigate these waters together. But another reason I'm bringing this concept forward is as we start opening our crown chakra to start interacting with multidimensional beings, are we going to be manifesting beings who are evil, or are we going to be manifesting people who are good and kind, multidimensional beings? Truth is, everything is frequencies, and birds of a feather flock together. So essentially, the astral planes and the spirit world, as you want to call it, is no different than the actual three-dimensional world, which means it's just a bigger arena for us to project our own inner dynamics. So let's say, for example, I'm out in a dating scene and I go out on a few dates and I'm like, wow, I keep attracting emotionally unavailable men. And then I can pretend that there's absolutely nothing wrong with me, play the victim card. Why do I attract all these men who are not emotionally available? Until I go, wait a minute. They are only reflecting back to me my own emotional unavailability. So perhaps this is something I want to work on myself so I can start drawing people into my life who are emotionally available. This concept is also a stepping stone to what we can expect to encounter as we are opening our crown chakra for extraterrestrial and multidimensional beings communication. They will essentially only reflect back to us our own inner imbalances or balances. So therefore, if we want to communicate with multidimensional beings safely, we just have to understand that if there is something up there that pops in that we don't like, it's probably there is something in us that we should look into, that they're probably just showing an aspect of ourselves that needs healing. And of course, integrating our shadows is a huge part of communicating with the world, not just the astral planes, but in the world in the way that is safe for us, that is engaging and inviting. So again, to best way to understand and integrate our shadows and the energies of Christ consciousness and the devil, it's to understand that it's actually a spectrum that we fluctuate back and forth. There are probably certain aspects of myself that are more into Christ consciousness than others, but I also probably have my shadow aspects as well, definitely. And depending of what we're interacting about, you may see a different version of myself. And we essentially just all are mirrors of each other. But essentially, to stop trying to look for the Antichrist outside of ourselves, but to start looking at the devil within. So I hope this was helpful to you for your journey, and see you soon.